quick left hook again inside by Andre Ward. Tiffany Ward and the Ward family at ringside.
We need the combinations, okay?
Okay, now. Octavo.
Eight. Okay? This is where you have all your experience. You know, whatever you want to do for yourself in life, this is where you need to put it out. It's impossible that you can let him work just like that.
Okay? I need you to do that. All right? And I need you to keep turning, quit showing him the same look every time you confuse him.
He see Andre knock the jab down with his right hand, counter with a short 6-inch straight right hand, take the hook to the body, and come back with his own hook to the head after he blocks Sullivan's hook to the head.
Emmanuel Stewart would be proud. Catch and counter with the same hand.
What a technician.
And I guess at the end of the day, what Abel Sanchez is trying to say to Sullivan Barrera is, don't fall for the okie doke. Okay, so you're being taken apart by craftsmen in there. You've got to go in and unload the kitchen. Throw what you can throw, take your shots, and, you know, regardless of what the outcome is going to be, don't walk away from here saying that you didn't try as hard as you could to knock this guy out.
Well, this is why people like Sullivan did not make the top level of the amateur boxers in Cuba, because he didn't throw enough punches to be winning amateur fights. The guys that won the amateur fights were very busy and threw more punches. They were not just trying to knock out. They were throwing punches to score points. He does not do that, and this is showing right here.
Ward lands a left hook solidly in the middle of the chest of Sullivan Barrera. Does that punch hurt?
Yes, it hurts. It's just as bad as a body shot.
Class tells over time, and the longer the fight goes, the more obvious it becomes, the difference in class between Andre and all of his opponents so far in his career.
Ward talks about when he was first enrolled in the 168-pound tournament, the Super 6. He went to Germany for the news conference that announced the whole thing, and incredulously, he called back here to the United States to Virgil Hunter, his trainer, and said, Virgil, I'm an underdog. They don't think I'm going to win this thing.
2-1 against Kessler to start.
He was shocked by that.
I was too.
Oh, Kessler was a very hot commodity back then. A lot of people felt he'd beat Calzaghe. It didn't work out that way, but he was considered a kind of a guy who might start climbing pound-for-pound ladders.
He was actually leading Calzaghe around the 4th or 5th round, and then Calzaghe, as he was capable of doing, went to another level.
But it was no contest against Andre Ward.
That's right.
Oh, good body shot.
And down goes Barrera after the body shot, and Caiz is going to say it was a low blow. So there'll be no knockdown, and now Sullivan Barrera has up to 5 minutes, if necessary, to recover from the low blow.
That was a vicious low blow, son. Get over here.
And you did hear the telltale sign of a glove landing on a cup.
Yeah, and you see it hit right on the belt line. It wasn't really ridiculously low. It was more on the belt than it was low, I think. But it does make contact, so.
If you can see the guy's belly button and you hit him on the belt line, they'll call it low.
Yep.
And even though Ward doesn't get the extra point for the knockdown, it's still a discouragement to Barrera as we go forward in the fight.
Well, he's acting rejuvenated by it somehow. Barrera is. And see, here's Ward's being smart too. He sees Barrera comes out like he wants to prove something. He ties him up and lays on him for a few seconds and halts the momentum.
You don't lay on him. You put him close to him and start throwing them bombs at him.
Nice and relax. 10 seconds. Come on. Stop at the bell. Stop at the bell, gentlemen. Stop!
April 23, Triple G. Gennady Golovkin returns to the ring to defend his middleweight titles against mandatory challenger Dominic Wade. And then June 4, Boxing After Dark brings you what could prove to be an instant classic. Everyone expects a fight of the year type entry as Francisco Vargas and Orlando Salido meet in a matchup of all action fighters. Vargas won what was chosen by most outlets as the fight of the year last year against Takashi Miura. Salido has been in various fight of the year candidates over the years.
Here we look at it, we do see that it was a little low. That punch moved the whole cup, so yes, it was higher, but it could have pulled the cup right into the wrong area. And he did have a reaction as though the cup did touch some of the wrong spots.
Delayed reaction. Barrera actually threw a punch before he went down.
Yeah, because it probably happened delayed. Sometimes it happens so quickly, and because you're not expecting it, you're like, whoa, I caught one in the wrong area.
Round 9 begins. Barrera trying to regain his energy after the low blow knockdown. Ward thoroughly in control of the fight up to this point.
He's not the smaller guy.
Virgil.
You all right? I want you to focus on this job here. Okay? Let's keep it clean, baby. Let's not get caught with the head butter. Keep them punches up. Come on. Now listen. Round 8 for Ward.
More offense.
On how bad the cut is by the end of the fight. We'll see the location between rounds.
Particularly because Andre said he wants another fight before Kovalev. And that's the fight that boxing fans really want to see. That cut's in a bad place, and it is dripping into his eye, it looks like.
Kovalev and his people locate Amir Khan. Just he saw it well. Communicated the ruling effectively, letting us know that the cut on Ward's eye was caused by an accidental headbutt. And now we go to round 10, or round 11, I should say, into the championship rounds. Power punching display here by Andre Ward.
There's a right hand that Max wanted to see.
Virgil wants to see it, I think.
Primary weapon for most of the night has been the super quick left hook.
Ooh, there it is again.
Right hand landed for Barrera. That was a rare moment.
And it didn't do anything, Jim. That's the bad thing.
Didn't produce any returns.
Right hand landed for Ward.
Deep breath, deep breath. Both of you. Deep breath. Let's go. Watch your heads, watch your heads.
And you know, you have to give Sullivan an A for effort here because this is his first real fight to me as a professional against a real bona fide professional opponent. And he happens to be fighting pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world in his first test. And he didn't get blown out here. I mean, he's getting outboxed. He's getting taught a lesson and took to school, but he's not getting really abused yet.
He's never been past 8. He's in the 11th round.
Exactly. So he didn't have a bad performance here. And for 325 amateur fights, you can see that he has some good experience, or he would not have survived this long against a guy as talented and skilled as an Andre Ward.
Landed probably his best right hand of the night in the 10th round, 2 rounds beyond the furthest point he had ever gone before in a fight. So at least he's proven to the satisfaction of most of us probably at ringside that he can in fact fight a 12-round fight. And it's no embarrassment. You know, it's no real blot on your record that you get beaten by Andre Ward. Andre Ward hasn't lost a fight in 20 years.
Stop at the mouth. Sullivan. Stop.
Ward grinning as the 11th round comes to a close. 3 more minutes.
And when it comes to taking guys out of their comfort zone, until you knew in the beginning that he'd be fine fighting a guy like this, because he always makes these guys very uncomfortable. He loves to take a puncher and take his punches away from him. And And he's done exactly that again tonight.
But you figure Kovalev sitting ringside watching Andre Ward tonight sees here he is in the 12th round of a fight he's dominated. But just moments ago, he was on the ropes and got hit with a straight right hand. And if Kovalev can catch you with a straight right hand, he can end the night.
Yeah, he can, but there's also a straight right hand and a left hook on the other side, so he has to be very careful.
And Ward has a very good chin.
Exactly.
We know that from his previous experiences. Yesterday, Roy Jones, you said that you thought it was a very good idea for Andre Ward to have another fight before fighting Sergey Kovalev. My question would be, how could he look better than this? What is he going to do that's going to make him better? There's a
see that right hand landed right there? It took him 12 rounds to finally land it. Now, we've been seeing it all night, but it took him a few rounds to land it safely. And that's why you need another fight. Because now the next fight, he'll land that punch 6 rounds earlier because his timing will be better, and that gives him what he wants before he goes into a fight with Kovalev.
And it's recognition that Kovalev is something different, Jim. He's not, it's respect for Kovalev that Andre is showing. He's never put himself in a position where he feels he's going to lose, and yet he's always fought the best available opposition as an amateur, and then in that tournament at super middleweight as a pro. So if past his prologue, he will fight Kovalev, but not until he feels he's ready.
Get your hand on Andre. Pull your left hand back. Hands are free.
Well, there's a contract, and the contract may conceivably contradict what one side or the other wants to do. So most likely there'll be a lot of discussion before ultimately it's determined whether Ward fights Kovalev in the next fight or one fight beyond.
I'm sure we'll be talking about it on the Fight Game, Jim.
And we're going to talk about it on the Fight Game for sure. And of course, Andre will soon be talking to Max Kellerman in the ring. See him trading comments on the fight with both Barrera and Barrera's trainer, Abel Sanchez. Andre Ward slightly marked after 12 rounds of action. And Harold Lederman managed to find one round to give to Barrera on the strength of that hard right hand along the ropes. Right, Harold?
Absolutely. I mean, I've got 10 rounds for Andre Ward, 1 round for Sullivan Barrera, 1 round even because the referee took away a point to make it an even round. I mean, this fight was totally dominated by Andre Ward. Fast hands, great left jab, terrific hook, an occasional right hand, just like Roy said. And he just dominated. Sullivan Barrera really should have thrown a lot more punches. He didn't. Ward dominated the fight.
Barrera was a mandatory challenger for one of Kovalev's belts. He, in effect, sacrificed the chance to be in line to fight Kovalev right now in favor of fighting Ward here tonight. He got paid, of course, for that. And many times, fighters place the good paycheck ahead of some other piece of business that might come down the road. Bird in the hand is worth more than 2 in the bush when you're a boxer. Final CompuBox numbers. Andre Ward landing 55 punches more, throwing 250 some odd punches fewer, 259 punches fewer, and landing at a 36% connect percentage as opposed to the only 15%. And 15% is desultorily low for Sullivan Barrera. That shows you the kind of defender Ward is. Power shots, Sullivan Barrera almost got up to 20%, landing 65 out of 348. Ward landing 35 more while throwing 119 less, lands at a very good 44% connect percentage. Not great, 50% is great, but Ward is both a defender and an offensive fighter, all-around skills, amazing command of himself and the opponent in the ring. Another win for the still unbeaten Andre Ward. We're waiting for official scorecards to be added up here. And maybe because of the knockdown and the low blow deduction, there's some variance here and there. But at the end of the day, we'd be stunned if there were any result other than a unanimous decision Ward victory.
Okay. I mean, I think so because
And while we wait, we remind you that there was one knockdown in the fight. It took place in round 3. Watch the left hook